We are live.
Turn on the timer so I know what I'm doing. Okay, we're going to start out with a little bit of standing, not too much. So start out with your core blocks at the top of your mat. Alright.
Is this the one you said to use the blue ones for?
Yeah, try the blue ones for all the standing stuff. You may go back and forth.
Okay.
Yeah. Alright. So start out with hands on the blocks. Try to spread the fingers out. Make sure all 3 thumb knuckles are on the inside of your blocks. So don't let your thumbs hang off the inside. So all the metacarpals in the hands are on your blocks. Step back so that your feet are a little bit behind the hips, and then take your feet as wide as your mat. Just going to start out with some kind of elevated sort of cat-cow here. I want you to spread your shoulder blades off the back. Push your hands to pick up your ribs, and then just drop that back down. Warm up the straight. Spread shoulder blades off the back. Keep your ribs up. Drop it back down. 2 more like that. Inhale, spread them up. Exhale, drop back down. Last one. Inhale, pick them up. And exhale, drop all the way down. Good. Bend the knees, sitting bones back and apart. Flat back. Good, like you're sitting back. Keep the knees a little bit open. Roll to the outside of the foot. Just a touch. Inner foot lifting. Try to sit a little bit deeper. And then bring it back to straight leg. Roll to the inner arches of your foot. Try to lift up your outer foot now. Hips back behind the heels. Drop your head in line with the arms. Then go ahead and bend the knees. As you bend, roll through a flat foot to the outer arch of the foot. Now that lets you open your hips more, open your knees. Feel like your serratus are pulling back, pulling shoulders down away from ears, and then re-straighten the legs. Heel toe it in. Bring your right foot outside your blocks. Turn your foot out 45 degrees. Take the left foot back. Wiggle it back. So you're in a pretty long stance. Stay high in the back toes. Warm up that foot. Drop your chest down into the shoulder girdle. Pull the shoulder blades back a little bit. And then reach back through the heel. Let your heel come all the way as far as you can. And push through the toes to come up. Do it again. Reach back through the heel. Warm up the feet. Push through the toes to come up. One more time. Reach all the way back. Stay one long line from heel to your head. Suck the middle abs up a little bit. Those transverse abs between the ribcage and pelvis. Feel like your shoulder blades are spreading. Like you're almost going to pull the blocks apart with hands. Bend the right knee. Slowly lower. I want you to bend elbows too. Keep one straight line from heel to head. Like you're doing a chaturanga mixed with a lizard. And then bring it right back up again. One more time. Bend the knees, bend the elbows. Elbows hug in. Shoulders are back. Feel your serratus. Keep your middle abs lifted. Come all the way up. Good. This time, bend the front knee. Let just the hips drop. Good. Keep that front knee open outside the foot. Try to bring your right shoulder back, left shoulder forward. Reach the heel back. Get long in the left side. And come back up. One more time. Left shoulder forward. Reach the heel back. Come back up. Press the knee or put the knee softly onto the mat. Sit back, lengthening the hips. Shoulders down like your serratus are pulling the hands down into the blocks. And then try to pull your tailbone sitting bones back. Right hip going further back, flattening out the back. Good. As you come forward, all 5 toes of the right foot spread out and grab the mat. The knee opens outside the foot a little. Drop chest into shoulder girdle and sit your hips deeper into that stretch. If you're going to bend elbows, bend them in towards you a little bit. Good. Keep your foot turned out a little bit more. Nice. Keep the knee open outside the foot. Try to make space here in the inner hip. Do it again. Press back. All the way back. Think of spreading your toes. Keep that big toe reaching forward. Drag tailbone, sitting bones back. And flatten the back. Shoulders down. Good. Start coming forward. All 5 toes spread across the mat. Knee opening out to the side. Think of your groin muscles as going apart. Sink a little deeper into that stretch. Good. Push into the back foot to bring it back up. Push into the front foot. Step it back into a high plank. Pick the ribs up higher into the shoulder girdle. Push into toes. Step your left foot forward outside your blocks. Turn your left toes out 45 degrees. Reach high into back toes. You can straighten left leg if you have that. If it causes your back to really round up because of the stretch, don't straighten it. Keep a soft bend. I want tailbone a little bit back from length in your core and chest dropping down. Ribs neutral. Not really dropped deep into an upper back bend, but also definitely not hollowed up. Find neutral with rib cage and then reach through the heel. Press your toes, think long through the back of the neck, back of the head, and press through the heel. Press into the toes to come forward. Try to be one straight line from the index Press through the chest and head. Last one, drop down. Bring it all the way up. Roll your right hip in a little bit, turn your left knee out, and start bending the left knee. Bend the left elbows in toward each other, shoulders back. Coming down as one straight line, then come straight back up again. Do it again, bend the knee out to the side, bend elbows toward each other. Keep your core engaged, and straight back up. Last one like that, come on down, open the knee out to the side, and come all the way back up. Good, this time you're gonna bend the outer knee. This time just drop hips. Bend the elbows a little bit, slowly lower the back knee to the ground. Good. Sit back. Think of come halfway back. Keep the chest open. Keep the shoulder blades down, back flat. Don't pull back from the back. Think of your foot pressing to bring the sitting bone back. If you can't go any further without rounding, don't go any further. That's your stretch. Instead of feeling a major hamstring pull and trying to straighten and stiffen the leg, pull your sitting bones back, tailbone back with the knee bent. In opposition to that, pull shoulder blades softly down, feel your serratus, and lift your middle belly up. Coming back forward, bend the left knee out to the left. Keep the back fairly flat. Think of your groin muscles going apart as you sit the hips a little deeper into that stretch. Good, then bring it all the way back. Don't let the foot buckle. That foot has to stay really active. Do it again, bend the front knee. Get long through your spine as you come forward. And press through the back foot, lift up the leg. Good, bring the hips up and back. Very nice. Go ahead and step your foot back into a high plank. Bend the knees, roll over the toes, come on down. Walk the knees back. Leave your hands on the blocks. Drop your head down. You should be really long here. Hips are way back. You should be one straight line from hips to hands. Then drop chest and ribs down. Try to bring forehead to the mat. If your forehead doesn't touch the mat, you need a block for your forehead to rest on. Your forehead has to rest on something or you can't release your shoulders. Or you can bring your blocks down to second level. Either way. Okay. Find your breath here. Inhale. As you exhale, keep letting the ribs drop a little deeper into the mat. Chin is in. Top of the head forward. Think of your knees as softly pulling the mat apart. Inhale. Exhale, long and even. Put a soft bend in your elbows, pulling them toward the ground. And reach the blocks back forward. And bring your body back up. Okay. Alright, let's go ahead and move the blocks to the side for a moment. And come knees wide on the mat, all the way up to the edge of the mat. Toes face in toward each other. Come down to your forearms. Okay. Forearms are a little less than shoulder width and bring the hands in so that the thumbs are touching or almost touching. Bring your body forward so your chest is over your hands. Pull in with your hands and push the bottom two thumb knuckles heavy into the mat. Then pick your ribs up into the shoulder blades. You want to feel the chest engaged, so stay forward, hands pull in, elbows pull out to engage the serratus, muscles on the sides of the ribs. And then lift the middle belly up a little bit. So you're rounded, but you have a very long arc in your spine. You're not trying to fold in half. Inhale while you're up here. Exhale till you start to feel middle abs start lifting. Good, and then let that go. Let the belly hang. Let the pelvic wall hang. Let your ribs drop down into shoulder girdle. Shoulder blades slide together on the back of the body. Do that again. Elbows pull the mat apart. Hands pull it back together again, picking up the rib cage. So hands are pulling together to help you feel pecs. It should feel like your collarbone is folding in half. Once you're up there, you can bring shoulders a little forward. Keep the top of the head forward, chin up into your own throat so neck is long. Lift the middle abs more. Stay here. Shift your weight a little further forward if you want it to be more challenging in your own body. 2 breaths here. Inhale. Exhale. Keep doming the upper back. Keep that pressure in hands. Try to make the upper back open a little more. And then let belly drop, pelvic bowl hangs, ribs drop down, shoulder blades slide together as deep as you can in that upper back bend. Go ahead and start slowly, low, sitting back like this. Let your shoulder blades slide off the back. Keep elbows stuck in place on the mat as you sit back. Inhaling, forehead can rest into the mat. Exhaling long and even. One breath. Come back, forward. Good. Interlace the fingers like this. Keep all the fingers interlaced and then extend the pinky back out. Okay. Thumbs line up too, so you can push those thumb knuckles into each other, kind of like a volleyball player. We're doing that so that you can flatten the pinky side of the hand into the mat. Okay. Bring elbows really close together, certainly inside the width of your shoulders. Don't go too crazy. The tighter you bring your elbows, the bigger the shoulder stretch is going to be. Okay? Then you're going to come forward, press down with your elbows into the mat to pick up your rib cage. Pull elbows apart, squeeze the thumb knuckles in to try to feel chest engaged more and try to bring ribs up higher. Suck the belly up a little bit. Keep your glutes released. Think of your knees pulling the mat apart as elbows pull the mat apart, and lift your core up wide. Think of spreading across the core. Go ahead and sit back a little ways. Try to drop your head back through the arms. Keep the belly lifted. Don't sit back too far. Keep belly lifted. Stay round. Inhaling, push through the base of the hand. Push through the whole forearm evenly. Elbows pulling the mat apart. Then go ahead and sit all the way back like this. Keep elbows stuck to the mat. Try to drag the side body really long. Inhale here, let your head rest. Exhaling, pull back on the mat with your elbows to pull you forward. Shoulder blades pulling back away from ears, engaging serratus. One more like that. This time try to go a little further forward so your nose is over your hands. Top of the head forward, chin up into your own throat. Push down through hands and elbows to pick your ribs up. Think of elbows pulling the mat apart. Suck the ribs up a little bit higher. Lift the middle abs up. Turn heels in, toes out a little bit. Inhale. Stay forward like that. Challenge that. Exhaling. Neck is long. Middle abs are pulling away from that. And then start sitting back high like this. How far back can you go up high? Pull the belly back. Pull the ribs back out of the shoulder girdle. And sit all the way back. One breath here. Exhaling long and even. Good. And bring it back forward. Top the knees in. Tuck the toes. Knees should be about hip width apart. Inner feet are going to touch or try to be close together. Elbows are pretty close, not any closer than you think you can fit your head through. We're going to drop the head back a little bit. And then I want you to bring your chest behind the elbows. Okay, we're going to go into dolphin with the hands like this. If you're not used to it, don't let your chest come forward. When the hips come up, then it gets really heavy, and don't let the tail tuck. Everything's pushing you forward into your neck. Instead, we're going to start with chest behind elbows. Core long and hips go back in relation to the chest. You want to keep pressing forward on the mat with elbows to bring your chest back. Okay, so let's find that first, chest behind elbows. And then you can walk knees in, press through the feet, pop the hips up behind you. Okay, so you're looking for a little upper back bend here. Keep dropping your chest further back. You can bring your chin in a little so head is in line with the spine. Head can come a little through the arms. Try to walk your feet so you can bring them pretty close to the mat, if not all the way down. Okay, reach your right heel toward the mat a little bit more. See if you can bring your left leg straight back behind you, trying to drop the chest further back. You can roll the hip open from there, drop the chest further back, bring that leg up. Don't crunch the neck. Roll it back down, bring the foot to the mat. Right side, bring the leg back, reach. Open up the hip, roll the hip open, drop your chest further back. Roll it back down, come onto the toes. Roll over to the knees, and then sit all the way back. Suck the belly back, leave the elbows stuck. Breathe. One more breath here. Pull back on the mat with elbows. Push through toes and knees to come all the way up. Good. Come onto the hands. Keep the hands turned out to the sides, a little outer spiral in your hands, but then inner spiral of the arms, so your biceps face in, so opposite of the usual spiral. Keeping the biceps facing in, try to pick your ribs up in the shoulder girdle higher. Really doming across, horizontally across upper back. Let your head drop. Think of your knees pulling the mat apart, suck the belly up higher. Try to stretch the back body. Inhaling. Exhale, lift your core. Then go the other way. Let your hips release back. Keep it going back. Drop belly, drop chest all the way down. Shoulder blades slide together, but shoulders stay down away from ears. And then come to neutral. Now outer spiral arms. Feel like your hands are pulling the mat apart a little bit to engage the serratus under the armpits, running down the sides of the ribs. Push through the feet, same feeling you had before. Chest back to bring hips back. Your heels should reach down into the mat, away from sitting bones, softly reaching up. The only way sitting bones can reach up is if the chest comes back. Hands pull the mat apart to engage the serratus a little. Neck is long. If your heels aren't flat, try to drop just the right heel to the mat. and then switch. Good. Okay. Keep reaching both heels back. Bring your left leg straight back to the hip square. Three-legged down dog. Then roll the hips open. Your hips will face left. Try to drop that right heel to the mat. Bring your chest further back. Notice the shoulders shrug to ears. Pull them apart, like you're pulling that horizontally apart. Roll your left hip down so it drops below the level of the right hip, but keep reaching the leg straight back. And then roll it up again. One more time. Roll the left hip down below the right. Kick the left frontal hip, come into right groin. Keep reaching the leg back though. Hug your right hip back and roll it back up. Step that foot down. Last one here. Bring the right leg straight back. Get long from the toes through the head. Hands pull wide. Roll the right hip open. Roll the hip down. Keep the leg high. Roll your right hip into the left hip. Right frontal hip into the left groin. Roll it back open again. Tip the chest back a little further. Bring it back down. Good. Last one. Roll the hip open. Tip the chest back. Roll it down. Bring the foot to the floor. Come on down. Get hands way out in front. Pick your ribs up into the shoulder girdle. Keep that little inner spiral on the arms. Drop your head. Suck the belly back as you sit back in a kind of rounded shape. Let your head drop. And then you can let your hips release all the way down. One breath here. And bring it back up. All right, let's go ahead and step your right foot forward. Outside the hands, turn the toes out to the right. Okay. Tuck the back toes, bring the back leg into the air. Good, how are we done? All right. Then keep the serratus pulled back. Pick up the middle abs while you're here. And then press through the right leg to try to come to a straight front leg or almost straight. Roll your hips open to face left. Then try to inner spiral your back leg, outer spiral front leg. Start bending the front knee a little and then hold. Pull your shoulders back, feel top of the head reach forward. Hold. Bend elbows a little and then hug them in toward each other. Now bend your elbows as you bend your knee, coming down into a chaturanga. Come right back up again. One more like that. Hug your left hip forward or roll it forward, right hip rolling back. Bend the right knee out to the right, halfway hold. Drop chest down a little bit, but keep belly lifted. Shoulders pull back, feel back foot is strong. Bend elbows a touch, hug them in. Come down, staying long. Shoulder blades back, core engaged. One line from head to heel, and then put the back knee down. Good, come on up down to your elbows. If this is too big a stretch, get your blocks or your bolster to put elbows on. Open up the right knee out to the right more. Got to tip a little bit to the outer right foot, dropping the knee open past the foot. Bring your right elbow a little forward. Bring your right shoulder a touch up so that your right shoulder blade slides up the ribs and let the ribs separate on the right side. See how far you can drop that right hip out to the right. Breathe, inhale. Don't squish the left hip. Keep the left shoulder a little forward. Keep the inner foot reaching for the ground so your foot is strong. Right foot pushing into the mat a little. And bring it back up. Bring your hands back. Tuck your back toes. Step back into a plank. Shoulders pull down the body. Pick up the belly. Hands pull the mat apart. Feet pull the mat apart. And then bring the hips straight back. Drop your head. Breathe. Keep reaching the pubic bone back. Think of the feet as rolling to the outside to open the hips a little bit. So just a touch, roll to your outer feet. It's not a sustainable line, it won't stay there. Reach pubic bone back a little longer, roll to the inner hand. Thumb knuckle, press. Then roll back to inner foot, reach the hips back further. Good. Bring your left leg up and back. Bring the knee into the nose. Turn your knee out to the side. Push your hands, pick ribs up, and step outside your hands. Turn your toes out to the left. Good. Okay, push into the left foot to straighten the leg more. Come high into right toe, strong right foot. Roll your right hip open to face right. So it feels like your outer spiraling right leg, soft inner spiraling left. Then roll the right leg forward. Right hip coming into left groin. Bend the left knee out to the left a little bit. Drop the right heel back a little bit. Drop chest halfway down in shoulder girdle and bend elbows. Pull your shoulders back, top of head reaching forward, and come down, bending elbows and knee at the same time. Chaturanga with lizard. And then bring it back up. Good. Go ahead and roll the hip open. Then roll right hip forward, left hip back. Bend the left knee a touch, reach your right heel back, bend elbows, hug them in, shoulders pull back, top of the head reaching forward, chin up into throat, bend the elbows as you bend the knee, hold, put the back knee down. Good job, how are we doing? Alright, come down to elbows. If that's too big a stretch for you, get your blocks or your bolster to rest elbows on. The foot has to be turned out, and you've got to bring your weight over toward the foot, so you're a little bit on top of it. It's a weight-bearing stretch. If it's too deep a stretch, you don't want to put weight into it. So elevate, bring your body higher. Okay? Let's bring your left elbow forward just a touch, bring your left shoulder a touch forward. If you keep your ribs up in the shoulder girdle, so press your elbows and pick the ribs up a little bit, when you bring the shoulder forward, it's from the pec, it's not from the neck. Then let your left hip drop away. The left foot wants to roll to the outside. Keep the big toe, big knuckle reaching back for the mat. Breathe. Keep the belly lifted a little bit out of the front of the hips. And come back to the middle. Hands to the mat, push through the back foot, step back to plank. Good. Hips go all the way back. One breath here, neck long, hips reaching back, hands pull the mat apart, ribs are in the body. And then come down, roll. Okay, now we go. 11? Yeah? Alright. Grab your orange bolster. Set it down. And then if you don't already have knee pads, if you want to grab your knee pads and try to go really wide in the hips. If you know you're tight in your hips, also get your red ball. If you know you're really tight in the hips, you're going to have to replace your orange bolster with the purple bolster and use your orange bolster long ways. Red ball goes under the belly if you know your hips are tight. Knees are going to go as wide as you can in frog with feet turned out and ball under the belly with elbows on your bolster. Okay, the ball should be above the pubic bone but below your rib cage so that it can squish right up into all of your organs. Okay, your knees have to be wide enough or else you can't put any weight into the ball. That's when you would need the ball to be on a bolster. You know you don't need a ball because you have really open hips and you can drop the belly down and let it. Okay? If your hips are not, if you're not releasing weight into the ball, this doesn't work. If you are releasing weight enough into the ball and you're relaxed enough, you'll start to feel the pulse in the abdomen. Invariably, like don't turn pretty hard, you'll feel the pulse in your abdomen if you release into the ball. Okay? Alright. If you found that, go ahead and very softly push your elbows, roll back on the ball toward your rib cage, hips opening, knees opening. Okay. And then roll forward. Looks like you're a little high, you're probably not feeling the pulse in the ball. We're going to move on in a minute. Yeah, your knees have to be outside the mat. Okay, one more time, roll back. Try to roll back into your frog. You can let the head release the bolster. Try to keep hips reaching back, inner feet to the mat. Find your breath here. Notice the hips are holding, let them release. They may drop to the floor a little bit. And then roll back forward. Good, get rid of the ball. And now you're going to do it without the ball. If you feel like you can't release, then get something to give your belly a border. Hands come into prayer on your bolster. Hands drop down. Sit back as deep as you can into that frog stretch. Try to bring your belly end or ribs toward the mat. Breathe. Drop the head down. You can let forehead rest on the bolster. One more breath here. And bring back forward. Good. Hands to the mat. Tuck your toes, bring them in. And hop the knees closed. And you can use the pads if they're already there. If you want to, just bring the pads together. If you don't want any pads, no worries. You're going to come back forward, elbows to your bolster. This time with knees very close together, almost touching. Elbows on the bolster, inner feet touching, and toes tucked. Okay, make flat hands, spread out the fingers, really engage. These two thumb knuckles press into each other. That's going to help you feel your pecs. Bring the body forward, press into hands, pick your ribs up by pressing through elbows. Elbows pull them out apart. Top of the head forward, chin up into your own throat. You should be very domed across the upper back. Inhaling. Exhale, start sitting back, but don't let the dome go. Keep your belly lifted. See if you can drop your head back past your bolster toward the ground. Okay. Once you're there, walk elbows forward a little bit on the bolster. Bend your elbows, hands come all the way to thoracic spine. Breathe. It's a big shoulder stretch if you've never done it before. You can start with elbows a little wider, and you can put a block under your head. The further the head drops through the arms, the bigger the stretch starts to be. Keep pressuring your thumbs. You also probably need to take knees further back if your ribs can touch your knees. Or bolster forward, that works too. Okay, now press through elbows a little bit, press through knees a little bit, pick up your middle abs, hands press into each other, elbows feel like they're pulling apart. Think of shrugging shoulders to ears, then let that go. Drop the head a little deeper, let your hips reach all the way back as far as you can. Elbows staying on the bolster. Should feel a lot of length in your sides. Inhale. As you exhale this time, press through knees just a little, press your big toes and lift the middle abs and low belly, just barely. And then let your head drop and release all the way back. Good. Bring the hands forward, bring it all the way up. Good. How are we doing? Guys, find that? Anybody felt a lot of pain or stuck from here to here? You don't have the right rotation in your shoulder, and I can show you that after class. All right, come on to the hands. And hold the hands off the bolster today. Go ahead and just sit back on your feet, keeping toes tucked. If they're not tucked as deep as they can be, keep the toes on the mat. Walk the knees back without letting toes slide, but tuck them a little deeper. And then sit back on your feet with your inner feet touching. Okay, so we're going to do hands and feet. Go ahead and flip your hands backwards on the mat. Hand and foot stretches are different if you've never done them. It's a little strange. Wide hands. Good. Okay. Now try to let your hips sit all the way back on the heels without tucking and squeezing. So let the sitting bones release open. Let your chest drop. Let your belly drop. Okay, put a baby bend in your elbows. If you can't bend your elbows, it's too big a stretch. Unlock the elbows. There we go. That helps you pull shoulders back. Good. Now suck the middle abs back. Press your hands, pull your ribs diagonally up and back to round. Good. Then go the other way. Let the belly spill. Let your chest drop. Shoulder blades slide together behind the thoracic spine. Good. Press your hands to initiate now. Put pressure in the stretching hands. Spread shoulder blades apart. Hands pull the mat apart. Suck the middle abs up and back without squeezing glutes. And then come back down. Chest drops into the shoulder blades. Shoulder blades come together behind the thoracic spine. Belly hangs. Sitting bones back. Last one, press through hands, shoulders pull open, feel your serratus, pick your ribs up, lift the belly. Now roll back in the right hand, bending fingers back, open thumb. Good. And then roll it back down, keep core lifted. Roll back through the left, and then roll back down. Last one, roll all the way back in the right, slide it forward a bit, just bending fingers back, elbow low. Reach through it like you're articulating through the spine. Roll back, come to knuckles. Left side, roll back, slide it forward. Keep the belly lifted. Either that or totally release the hips. But you can't squeeze the hips and close the sitting bones together. That's not one of the options. Roll through the hand, bend the elbow to come back, come to knuckles. Good. Pick your knees up. Coming out of the foot stretch halfway. Good. Tent the fingers close to you. Keep your inner feet trying to touch. Your outer arch is lifting. Come high on your toes, heels up. But let your hips sit. Hips have to sit all the way down onto the heels. Good. Then start dropping the heels back, hips back, chest forward with the knees. Drop the head, stretching the lower leg. Keep the outer foot lifted. Okay, do it again. Keep your body heavy on the feet, just the feet work. Lift the heels up. Good. Inner feet trying to touch, and then drop the heels back down. Good. Stay back there. Open the knees. Bring the arms inside the legs. Hands out in front. Let your hips drop back as far as they can. If your heels can't touch the ground without being at the point of no return, then don't let them. Just go back as far as you think you can. Hands counter, reach out in front. Low belly draws back. Knees open. Drop your head. Inhale. Exhale. Lift the low belly. Think of rolling the inner foot into the mat. Try to think of lifting the toes. They won't lift, but engages your feet. Good. And then come back forward. Good. Bring the hips up and back, really lean into the hands. And then drop into a forward bend. Breathe. Walk your hands back. Bring the ribs forward. Put a soft bend in the knees until your ribs can connect with your thighs. Let your head legitimately hang. Find your breath. Two more breaths here. Think of rolling to inner foot a little bit and then feet pulling the mat apart, horizontally wide from the sitting bones, from the hips. Lift your shoulders up away from the ears. Drop the chin in, top of the head down. And then let shoulders hang back down again. Good. Bring your hands up to your low back. Interlace the fingers. Try to reach the hands back over your head. Keep the shawl for the ribs so the ribs don't try to round up. Find your breath. As you exhale, reach the hands back. Roll the chest up. Keep ribs connected with thighs. Bend the knees. Chair. And come all the way up. Nice and slow. Good. Keep the legs in or spiraling. Roll shoulders back, but suck low belly back. So don't let your hips come forward. Keep hips back. Low belly suck back. Bend your knees a little bit. Bring your hands back. Keep the low belly under. So you've got a low back rounded with your upper back bend. No sitting bones back. Good. Come forward like that. Try to bring thighs toward ribs toward the thighs. And then keeping those connected. See how far you can straighten legs without disconnecting the two. Drop your hands forward as far as they can go within reason. Just let gravity do that. Chin in. Breathe. And then let it go. Bring your hands back. Very nice. Move your stuff off the mat. Actually, let's grab the blocks one more time. Blocks to the top of the mat. Step your left foot forward and your right foot back. Just a regular lunge. Feet are going to be hip width apart. If you look down at them and you're high in the back leg. Push through your front leg, try to straighten that leg. Pull your shoulder blades back, serratus engaging. Top of the head forward, little lift in your middle abs. Good. And then bending the front knee, stay really long and strong through your back leg all the way to head as you drop the hip down. And then bring it back up. Do that again, stay long and strong, top of the head forward. Think of your ribs lengthening forward. Drop the hip lower this time. Good. You bend the back knee a little bit, pull the heel back a little bit. Either put the knee down or see if you can bring up your arms up with your balance here. As you exhale, slowly lower the knee to the mat. If you need to come to blocks, come to blocks. Bring your left hand to your left thigh. Push the knee across. Bring your right elbow across to twist. And then hands in prayer. Your knee should go past the heel. Twist the other way. Twist the other way. Either bring the other knee forward or yeah. There you go. Your knee should go past your heel. The back hip drops forward. Let your back shoulder come up and don't turn the head. Keep your head looking straight ahead. Don't turn back. The turn should be in your waist. Now push your back hand, your left hand into the right. Pick your ribs up off the thigh as you twist. Breathe. Press through the back leg and pick it up if you want to go deeper. And bring the back knee back down when you're ready. Hands back to your blocks. Lift up. Heel toe your left foot in. Spin your back heel in and down. You have heel to arch alignment. Front heel cuts straight through the back inner foot. Good. Bring your left block right under your left shoulder. Bring the arms straight up. Good. Triangle. Try to keep your bottom hip dragging back under you. The height of the block should help with that. Good. Okay. Bend the bottom knee to come forward. Bring the arm over your head. One straight line from the leg to the hand. And then bring the bottom hip back out from under the ribs. You should have no bubble in the top of the ribs. Bring that down. Good. Do it again. This time bring the arm all the way back. And bring the hip back. Good. Now turn your right hip forward, left hip back. Don't use the arms to reach for your block if you can help it. And then roll it back open again. Good. Do it again. Roll the hip forward. And then roll it back open again. If you can't feel hips rolled because your block's too low, roll the hip forward. Good. And then see if you can bring arms straight back. Top of the head forward. Find your breath. Bend the front knee if you feel like there's too much tension there. And bring it all the way up. Good. Bring the arms out to the sides. Bend the front knee. Same thing we were just doing. That front sitting bone can come under, back like triangle, or it can come forward. So the back hip drops. The back hip opens back. Low belly, middle abs lift, so the low back is open and down. Front knee is open. Back knee is flattening back. Lift your middle abs up. Inhale. Exhale, long and even. Bring your hand back to the back leg, arm up, lengthen out of the front side. Good, and cartwheel the arms forward and down. Spin onto the toes of the back foot. Step back to your high plank. Bring the other leg forward. Good, stay strong in your back leg. Press through the front leg. If your back can't go flat, you need more height. The shoulders come back, ribs drop down, top of the head forward. Drive your right sitting bone back more with a soft bend in the right knee if you can hyperextend. And start bending the knee. Keep the spine long. Keep one long line from heel to head until you can stretch the hip, then go ahead and drop the hip down deeper. And then bring it back up. Inhale. Exhale, shoulders draw back, top of the head reaching forward, bend the front knee, one long line from back leg, all the way through the front of that hip and thighs. Bring it back up. Inhale. Stay here for a second. As you exhale, pick your ribs up into shoulder girdle. If there was nowhere to go, you were already too tight there. Drop them back down, shoulders forward and back. Then bend the front knee. Sitting into your hip stretch, you can sit deep and bring the arms up, or you can put the knee down. Inhale. Exhale, long and even. Put the back knee down, soft. Bring your right arm to the back leg, reach through the left arm, and then your right hand can come to thigh to help guide the left arm further across into your twist. Hands in prayer. Good. Pull elbow into the knee softly. Mostly do that by pushing with the hand that's in the back. Okay, don't turn the head. That's not where your twist is. If anything, it'll make you lose your balance. Bring your left shoulder forward a little bit so the left shoulder blade is sliding up and open up those bottom ribs more. Drop the bottom hip forward. Just do that for a second. That's not the alignment we're going to hold. Then push into your backhand. Pick your ribs up in the twist. Ribs come off the thigh. Good. Drop your chin in, neck long. Suck the belly in and up. Good. If you want to go deeper, push through the back leg. Bring it up. Find your breath. Bring it back down if you're up. Hands come out of the twist. Push into the back leg. Step back into your high plank. And bring the knees down to the mat. Walk the knees back to that baby down dog again. Either come to second level with your blocks in order to touch the head onto the floor, or if you can stay at third level, drop the head down. Ribs are reaching back for the thighs, but they shouldn't be able to touch. They should have room to drop back. Your blocks may tip to the back corner, that's fine. You can put a soft bend in elbows, but they are hugging in to get the right spiral of the shoulders. Reach your blocks forward. Bring your body back up. Good. All right, let's put the blocks down on the mat. Put them as wide as your mat. And turn around and face the other direction. Okay, so you guys put your blocks at the other end so you can face in. Probably would be easier. Yeah. Okay. Blocks should be even. All the way out to the edge of the mat. And we're going to do some shoulders here. All 5 fingers facing forward. Tailbone under. So bring your feet close to your hips. Press into your hands. And then bring your hips to your heels a little so that you're on the back of the hips. The tailbone is under, you're on the sacrum. Your shoulders should be well in front of the hands. That's part of the stretch, but it's also part of the alignment. If you can't do that, then go to the floor like Todd's doing back. Okay, a little further forward, Dorothy. It doesn't work. Your elbows cannot pass your hands. A little further forward. Stay upright. There you go. Now keep the body up. That's it. Good. All right, now roll shoulders forward so that your shoulder blades come apart off the back of the ribs, top of the head forward too. And then keep your elbows pulling wide like you're going to spin the block in toward the thumb side of the hand. Keeping that width across the shoulders, keeping shoulders forward. Try to bend elbows out to the sides without sinking in your neck. Keep the shoulders forward. That's in opposition. Most people, when they bend elbows, they just want to drop the shoulders back. That's not it. Keep the shoulders forward, bend elbows out, and let your ribs start rounding back. Suck the middle abs back a little bit. Breathe. Bring your feet out in front of you enough for your hips to be able to move. Make sure hips are loose. Rock forward on the hips. Stay heavy in your tailbone. And then low belly softly draws back, putting more weight into stretch. Top of head forward. Keep pressuring your hands. Don't let the hands die. Rock forward. Then roll back. One more time. Rock forward soft. Roll back. Good. Move your rib cage over to the right. Roll that right shoulder further forward. Drop your knees across to the left. Your left ankle can cross halfway right shin to pull that further across. Think of your right hip coming to your right heel. Keep moving toward the right with the body. Breathe. It's a twist. Try not to turn the neck. Keep your head forward, chin in. Uncross the leg, bring it back up. Shift your ribs to the left. Really get over top of that left hand with left shoulder, elbow wide. Lift the outer arch of your left foot as you drop the knees right. If you want to stay here, you can just bring hip to heel, shoulder back, and that's that. If you want to go further, cross the right ankle halfway down the shin, pull the knee further across and forward. Breathe. Keep the middle abs drawn, shoulders forward, neck long, top of the head high. Uncross it, bring it up. Go ahead and press to your hands until you can come all the way to straight arms. Hands may lift a little. Roll to the top of your sitting bones. Roll your shoulders back, open the chest, big stretch in the forearms and wrists. Then roll hips back, shoulders forward, bend elbows out to the side, sitting deeper into that stretch. Just one more of those. Press into hands, keeping the spine round, top of the head forward. Then roll through hips, roll the shoulders back, open up the chest, lift middle, abs up under ribs. Then roll shoulders forward, hips back, bend elbows out to the sides, wider. Good, and bring it up. Bring your knuckles to the mat, fingers facing forward. Keep the wrists straight, just put a little bit of pressure in that. If you want a full bridge, you can bring the feet in, roll the shoulders back and come up. If you don't want to, you certainly don't have to. Wherever you're at, breathe, roll your shoulders forward, suck the belly back, slowly drop the head. Good. Okay, bend your fingers back for a second, just put a little bit of stretch in your hands. And open and close. Okay, one more set, this time with fingers facing back. If you want to add a hip stretch to this, you can do it the way we've done it before with knees tucked back. But if that's big for you, don't do that here. It's up to you. Okay? If you want to keep the feet forward, keep the feet forward. Both knees tucked back is a pretty big stretch. Okay, roll the shoulders forward wherever you're at. Tailbone under if you're going to do that. Really get tailbone under. There you go. And we're going to do fingers facing backwards. You should have a 90-degree angle on the arm. The upper arm is trying to be parallel to the floor. Tailbone under. All right, roll the shoulders back, keeping elbows bent, top of the head forward. And then roll the shoulders forward. The cage doesn't go up or down right now. Roll your shoulders up and back, top of the head forward. Low belly sucking back, middle abs like that. Roll the shoulders forward. Last one, roll the shoulders back, top of the head forward, and roll the shoulders forward. Good. Press into your hands to come up. Roll up on your sitting bones. Roll your shoulders back, open the chest. Go the other way, roll shoulders forward, roll sitting bones under, suck belly back, then bend elbows back. It should feel like you're pulling the back of the ribs to the blocks, sucking out of the pelvic floor, low belly drawn. Good. One more time. Press through hands, keep top of the head forward, keep spine round until you're all the way straight. Roll on the hips, roll shoulders back, outer spiral arms lifting chest. Roll shoulders forward, low belly sucks back, bend your elbows all the way back. If your knees are tucked, they should get light. Good job. And then press into hands. Good. Come knuckles to the mat one more time. If you're on the knees, you can roll back here into your bridge, opening the chest. Or you can take a regular bridge and come back down. Good. Alright, bring your knees out as they were back. Keep them bent for a second. Everybody come to Baddha Konasana. Soles of the feet together. So if your knees were back, they stay bent. Not to straighten in between. You just came out of a knee stretch. Okay, alternative. Face forward, you're going to bring the elbows in front of your shins. Hands are on the feet, but don't hold the toes. Let your toes open and have some room. Bring your hips further back. So you've got about 2 feet between pelvic floor, maybe 18 inches between pelvic floor and the heels. Good. Holding ankles, bring elbows to the front of the shin. Very softly pull back from the serratus, from the muscles underneath the arm, on the rib cage, and top of the head reaches forward and almost up. You're trying to make the spine long. Okay. Feel your feet pull back softly. Feel your serratus pull back. Inhaling. Exhale, lift your middle abs a little bit. Then go the other way. Feel your feet push the mat forward. Your low belly sucks back to round you. You're trying to round the spine. Think cat-cow here. Let your head drop, shoulders round. Inhaling. Exhale, feet pull back, toes open, elbows pull back on shins, lengthen the spine forward softly. Feel the middle abs lift a little bit. Do that again, feet push forward, low belly sucks back, drop the head, inhaling. Exhaling, pull back with elbows, pull back softly with feet. Feel serratus and lift the belly up into the serratus. Keep top of the head forward, chin up into your own throat. Maybe that'll help connect you to those middle abs. And then slowly roll it up. Good. How we go? Good. All right. All right, let's grab your bolster. Bring it to the mat in front of you. We're going to now bring your feet into a 180-degree pose and bring your bolster up to you. You can turn to face me now so your heels are on the mat if you want. Okay, bolster's going to come right up to the groin or the belly, depending on your stretch. Okay, holding on to the bolster. I want you to feel your sitting bones firmly in the mat, and I want you to slouch, but I don't want the upper back to go back behind the pelvic wall. So don't think slouch here, keep the chest forward. Think low belly rolls back. Sitting bones roll under. Yep, low belly sucks up out of the pelvic wall a little bit, with ribs still open. Don't close the ribs up, then there's no room for this. Keep ribs forward and open. Low belly sucks back. Good. Once you have that, roll the legs forward, keeping the low belly back. Good. Feel your front of your hip here. Okay. Now lift your low belly. Start getting longer. Come up and over your bolster as far as you can. Hands hold the bolster. Elbows hug in on it. Very softly pull back on the bolster to bring you a little bit further forward. Okay, if you're really open here, you're going to feel the bolster push the hips back. Hips get light. Good, and then come back up, rolling it up. Good. All right, bring your right leg across the bolster, like in pigeon. Open your other leg away, make space between your groin and the bolster with that straight leg. Keep your foot wrapping around the bolster, keep it active. Okay. Then, same thing we just did, holding on, let your sitting bones roll under you. Lift your low belly a little bit, roll the leg in, it should be really loose and easy to roll in and reach the big toe. Then lift the belly, roll the hip the rest of the way forward. Keep getting longer and come over your bolster into that hip stretch. Breathe. Keep the leg rolled forward. Okay, roll the straight leg back, roll the hip back, suck the low belly back without letting go of the bolster, and come back into it. Roll straight leg forward, lift your low belly, come long and forward over the bolster again. And move your elbows to your right. Bring your right elbow to the ground. Okay. See if you can bring your other hand to the front of the bolster. Pull your spine longer, right over that knee. Body weight, letting the knee drop below the level of the bolster. Keep the foot actively wrapped around the bolster. Lift your middle out. Drop your head a little. Long. Good. Breathe. Keep the left hip rolling forward, like it's trying to push your hip bolster forward, and the hip that's on the floor pulling back. And then bring it all the way up. Good. It's kind of like a pigeon. Okay, grab your blocks. Last one here, and then we'll switch sides. Little twist. You're going to put your blocks right next to you. 90-degree angle next to you. Twist with upper body. Maybe staying tall is easier for you. You're going to let the back hip roll forward. Lift your belly up. If you want to come down to elbows, you can come down to elbows. And then you're going to lift your ribs up and down. Twist, trying to pick the belly up off the thigh. Then pull back with the elbows, bring the ribs forward longer. Other toe points away. One more time. Pick the belly up. Inhale. Exhale. Lift your belly out of the hip. Roll the back hip forward. Drag your ribs a little longer. Inhale. Pick ribs up with elbows. Suck the belly up out of the hip. Drag it longer. And come back up. Good. Come to Baddha Konasana on your bolster. You're sitting behind the bolster, your feet are on the bolster. Okay. Bring your elbows in front of your shins if you can. Hands to the bolster, doesn't have to be the end. Hold wherever you can reach. And if elbows only can come to the top of the shins, then that's fine too. If you bring them to the top of the shins, you're just working on very softly pushing the knees down and lifting the belly up and back. If you get to the front of the shins, you're working on very softly pulling back on the shins, pulling back on the bolster, lengthening belly up, but then top of the head forward. Open your toes. Feel a little bit of pressure in the pinky side of the foot, like pinky side is pushing down, heels lifting up. Be patient, keeping that. Notice how that starts to open the back of the hips more. Inhaling. Exhale, soft pull and serratus, top of the head forward. And feel your feet push forward. Suck your low belly off the bolster if you can, rounding back. Feel the other leg, feet pull back, elbows pull back, bring it forward. And roll it back up. Good. Leave your left leg on the bolster. So side. Wrap the foot around. Bring the other leg wider so you got a little bit of space between you and the bolster. Yeah, you can do it. Alright, go ahead and holding onto the bolster. Keep this foot actively wrapped. Okay? Holding onto the bolster, low belly sucks back. Your sitting bones feel like they're scooping the ground under a little bit. But your ribs stay open, don't close the ribs hard. This leg should be free to roll in while the belly sucks back. Don't engage hip flexors. And then just roll it back, should be loose. Roll in, don't use the foot to do it. Reach through the big toe. Lift your belly. Lengthen up and over, come forward as much as you can. You don't have to reach the end of the bolster. Any part of it will help pull you into this stretch. Good. If you do get to the bolster, keep the foot wrapping around and think of drawing your ribs forward. Keep rolling the back hip forward to lengthen you further over the bolster. Breathe. Roll the straight leg back, suck the belly back. And then come back forward again. Roll the straight leg forward. Belly lifts up and over. Reach through the big toe. When you're ready, bring your left arm over to the floor. The other arm tries to come to the front of the bolster and pull you further forward. Find your breath. Keep the leg inner spiral. That right leg, the straight leg, that hip's trying to roll forward. The sitting bone that's on the ground should feel like it's pulling back as your ribs lengthen forward. And roll the hip back and bring it up. Grab your blocks. Last one, just a twist here. Blocks are a 90-degree turn, so you're going to use your hands like they're pushing blocks to the edge of the mat to twist from your core. Let the hip roll forward. Lift your belly in. So you're not arching the back while you're twisting. You're lifting up out of the pelvic floor. And that may be enough for you right there. If you want to go further, you can bring elbows to your blocks and twist a little more using the elbow. Think of that back shoulder lifting up and back to square your chest. Lift the belly. Let your sitting bones roll under a little bit here. Inhale. Exhale, lengthen the ribs forward and down. Do it again. Press your elbows. Pick your ribs up, especially on the twisting side. Make space in your upper back. And then bring it forward and down. Last one. Pick the ribs up. And bring it forward and down. And come back to the middle. Okay. Last Baddha with the bolster. And we're going to go to the floor again. Okay, so feet on top, toes open. You got about 18 inches, maybe 2 feet in between. Hands in front or elbows in front of shins if they can get there. Otherwise, they're just on top. You're going to try to keep the big toes, the index knuckle into each other. The big toe may even reach forward. Toes down, heels get light. That should help open the back of the hips a little bit. And then you're going to pull your ribs further forward. Shoulder blades softly pulling back. Top of the head reaching forward. Find your breath. Playing with the elbows, plugging the hips back away from you. Lengthening the ribs forward. Keeping the belly lifted. Very good. Okay, bring your bolster next to you and turn to face it. Try everybody face in so you're facing me. Bolster under the legs. Bring one block to the top of the mat. Red ball behind you and bring your purple balls within reach. Pull your leg down. Alright. And grab your strap too. See if we have time to get out too. Okay, so start at the top of the mat, because as we work down. We're going to start on the ball. We're going to keep rolling down and down and down, changing where the ball is on the spine, and you're going to end up coming all the way off your ball strip. So start, or all the way off the mat. So start pretty high up on your mat. So your blocks all the way to the top. Okay, then bring your ball against your low back first. You're not going to lay there. That won't feel good. Then you're going to roll it back about a half roll so it's under the floating ribs. Lay back over that so your ball is picking your floating ribs up. Then your head comes to your block. The block should be very low, right where the cervical spine is coming into your skull. Then bring your tailbone under. So the ball is giving you an upper back bend, but you want the low back to be long or even rounded. So tailbone is under. Okay, the shoulder blades should be able to roll back over the top of the red ball, off the back of the red ball even, between your red ball and your block. Okay, let's bring your arms up, palms facing in, hands right above your own face. Keep your chin down. You should be able to push the chin down, neck long. And then let your shoulder blades drop to the ground, as close to the ground as you can. Inhaling. As you exhale, reaching back up without flexing the low body at all. It's a soft reach, it's just your arms. Let them drop back down. Good. Then let your arms drop straight back, keeping the shoulders released. Thumbs facing the ground. Inner shoulders rolling back. Inhaling here. Let your ribs open, reach through the hands. Exhale, bring your arms straight out to the sides, and then put your elbows into the mat. Elbows should be resting on the mat, back of the hand resting. Okay, hands out to the sides so they can rest. Drop your chin down, let your shoulders roll back from gravity, don't pull them back hard. Inhale, ribs open. Feel the low belly softly draw out of the front of the hips to turn your tail under. And then as you exhale, let that go. Roll your shoulders forward, lift the head just a touch. Keep pubic going forward, no tucking. And let your shoulders release back, chin down, inhale. Exhaling, release hips, roll shoulders forward, chin up. Let shoulders drop back, chin down, inhale. Hold the air in, reach your arms straight out to the sides. Feel your shoulder blades squeeze together on the red ball. Palms facing up. And then bring your hands up right above the forehead. Don't let them drop far forward. Exhale. Interlace the fingers except for index finger and thumb. Keep those wide like you're making a pointer. Point up toward the ceiling. Slide shoulder blades up off the back. Outer spiral arms and keep reaching. Biceps should face you. That's the outer spiral. Keep reaching until your chest engages and folds your collarbone in half. Then drop the arms forward, keeping chest high, shoulders high. Then just bring your head up, rounding the thoracic spine. Keep pubic going forward. Don't tuck. Let that go. Rest into your red ball. It's supporting you. Let it. Keeping the chest up so that the collarbone is folded in half. Slide just the shoulder blades back. Move them separate from the spine, then slide them forward. Do it again. Slide just your shoulder blades back. Then draw them forward. Back of the head is long, chin is in, top of the head to the ceiling. Shoulder blades back. Then slide them forward. Good. Now bring your arms up a little higher. Same thing. Drop shoulder blades down to the ball. Then slide them straight up. Shoulder blades slide down to the ball. And then straight up, separating the shoulder blades from the ribs. Shoulder blades slide down to the ball, then straight up, and then start laying back. Let your head touch, let your shoulder blades drop down to the floor here now. Release the hips, release your ribs, inhale. Exhale, keep hands right above your face. You should be able to see your face in the mirror. Slide your shoulder blades up, use the chest, outer spiral the arms. Bring the hands down. You should squish your own chest with the arms. Bring your head up, middle abs draw back, same thing, slide the shoulders back once, leaning into the ball, then slide shoulder blades forward, keep the ribs back, head back, neck back, chin in. Bring your hands 10 degrees right, roll your ball a little left, and then release both hips, let them drop forward. Start leaning back just a little, not going to lay all the way back, let the core open. Then coming back up from middle abs, no tucking, bring it back to the middle, bring your hands left. Slide your ball right a little bit, let their hips release. Lay back just a little, let ribs open. Feel those middle abs. Come back up. Feel the apple core abs, the abs inside the rib cage, not the superficial APEC abs on top. This time, bring the arms up. Keep your pubic bone forward. See how far back you can take arms. Keep the core engaged. No tucking. That'll start hurting the back. Chin in. You feel this in your neck. Let it go. Drop back and put your head on your block. And then bring the arms straight up. Let shoulder blades drop down. Bring your head back to your block. Good. Drop. Oops, lost the block. Drop the arms back behind you. Reach through the thumb side of the hand. Feel that stretch through the chest. Spread the toes out. Inner spiral legs. Fan and reach your toes forward. Spread them out. Feet will come up a little. Push down a little with ribs into the ball. Try to pick the hips up. Don't use your back or your glutes. Use your core. Breathe. Outer spiral legs. Let your hips release. Find wrapping loops around your red ball. Inhaling, ribs open. Bring your arms back up. Good. Bring one hand behind the head to hold it up. Get rid of your block. Interlace your fingers. Bring your head forward. Keep pulling head forward. Keep pubic bone forward. Shoulder blades slide forward. Elbows wind up reaching forward and up. Rounding the back. And then keep your pubic bone forward. Keep pressure from hands to head. Hands slide up to the top of the head a little. So you've got a neck stretch. Then bring your shoulder blades not back into the neck, but down into your red ball. Keep pushing the head forward. You should feel stretching your neck. Let your ribs release open. See if you can keep that. Shoulder blades in the ball, head pushed forward. Lay back by opening the ribs. If you feel this in your low back, if you feel any of this in your low back, no good, stop. Come back up, just pulling head, don't close ribs. Shoulder blades into the ball. That's what you come up and over. And bring your head forward. Good, let it go. Push the bolster forward. Bring your feet to the bolster, push a little further forward. Then you're going to roll forward on your mat so the ball rolls up your spine. Okay, remember to do that. And then bring the legs back over the bolster. Okay. Grab your strap. Hold on to your strap about mat width. And you should be high enough on your ball so that your head can face upright, your ribs dropping down, and you're not leaning back and straining the neck. You want to be upright. If this goes into your neck, just let it go and meet us on the next exercise. You're going to bring the hands up. Spiral so palms face out, fingers face in, back of hands face in. Reach forward. That right there should actually feel good. You should be feeling your collarbone roll toward itself or folding in half and doming the back. Chin back, neck long, top of the head to the ceiling. Keep that. Suck the belly back. Keep your pubic bone forward. No tucking. Let that go. Stay long in your lumbar spine and core. Maybe all you're going to do is slide shoulder blades forward and back here, if that keeps you out of the neck. If you want to try to challenge it, we're going to bring the arms up, keeping chest engaged. Keep middle abs pulling down. Pull out on your strap a little. Try to roll all the way through your shoulders. Roll shoulders forward. Bring it back up. Roll all the way forward. Again, if it's too much for you, you feel it in your neck at all, just move forward and back. Inhaling. Reach the shoulder blades forward. Bring it up and back. Keep your core engaged. Top of the head should stay forward. Exhale. Inhale. Bring it up. Exhale, reach forward, pull the core down, keep it going forward, take it back, top of the head stays forward, and bring it back up. Good, now bring the strap behind the head. Pretty high on the head, you're kind of pulling the top of the head forward. At the same time, drop chin back, neck back, like you're putting the neck flat against the wall behind you. Elbows are in, hands are out, so forearms are parallel line. Pubic bone is forward, drop your ribs in. Keep pulling top of the head very softly forward to stretch the upper back. Inhale. Keep your chin tucked back into your own throat a little. And then start rolling back. Let your ribs open. Keep that opposition between head and hands. Ribs open, elbows reach up and back. Top of the head still getting pulled long, chin in a little. To come up, pull just the head, chin dropping back, elbows in forward. And then pull the head softly forward, stretching the upper back. Pubic bone forward. Drop ribs heavy into your ball, like you're going to push the ball back with the ribs. Good. If you want more, you can choke up on your strap a little bit. You want to make it a little bit deeper. Serratus pull forward, so your elbows reach forward to engage the serratus. Pull middle abs down, keep pubic bone forward. Lay back, keep the tension between the two. Elbows reaching up, chin down, neck is long. Inhaling there. Exhale, pull just the head up first. Don't close ribs, don't tuck hips, ever. And once the head is up, ribs stay open, but they drop in behind the hips, top of the head getting pulled forward. Shoulder blades slide forward, in with middle abs, but don't tuck hips to meet that. Keep hips forward and let it go. Okay, you may feel arms there too. Okay, push the bolster a little further forward, bring your feet to the edges of it. Bring your hips forward until the ball is under the thoracic spine, right between your shoulder blades, hands to your head. Okay. Open your knees out to the sides, turn your feet out to the edges. You may need to take your bolster a little further forward. Let the knees hang open to whatever groin stretch you have, whatever hip stretch you have. Okay? Then, think of rolling on the hips. Roll your pubic bone forward softly. Don't overdo that. Don't use your low back. And then suck belly back, roll back, and let it go. Make sure you can move the hips. Okay? You're going to lay back over your red ball. Elbows reaching up and back. Try to pull your neck long. Ribs open. Ribs have to come apart. Then suck the middle abs back without closing ribs. And then let that go. Pubic bone will roll forward again. 2 more like that. Middle abs pull back. Good. And then let that go. Okay. Keep ribs open. If your ribs close, your hips can't roll. Keep ribs open. As middle back abs pull back, reach through elbow. And then roll forward. Now keep pubic bone forward. Hands pull the head up. Keep the pubic bone forward as you round up. Let your ribs drop without tucking hips. Top of the head forward. Shoulder blades come down into your red ball. One more time. Lay back over the ball. Ribs have to be able to open. If you feel like you're not high enough, slide up on your ball a little. Get ribs to open. Okay. And keep the knees drop into the stretch, keeping ribs open, elbows reaching, low belly drops, and then drop it forward. One more time, just rolling in hips, low belly drop, drop it forward. Just hips, low belly, and then drop it forward. Okay, we're going to do one more. Keep the low belly engaged, keep your ribs open, drop it forward, just the head up. Bring your head up slow, let your ribs drop in, keep your pubic bone forward. Shoulder blades down into red ball, rounding the spine. Good, and bring the legs in. Okay, bring your bolster so that it's about the top of the leg length away from you. Feet to the edges of the bolster. Keep your right hand behind your head. Maybe you can take it further across so it's forearm behind head, hand wrapping around to the left side of the head. Bring your left elbow out to the side on your mat. Slide out to your left. Try to bring your left rib cage to the ground over to the left. Okay. Then lift the outer arch of your left foot right on the edge of the bolster and drop your left knee across to the right. Yes. Lay back over your ball, opening the chest, hip going forward. You should feel a pretty decent stretch through psoas, especially if you keep the ribs across. So it's a little twist in one side of your body. Then just bring the head up, nothing else. Ribs dropping back into the ball, hip reaching forward. If you want to go deeper, you can cross the right ankle over the knee and reach that hip further forward. Keep your head in the middle. Don't let your head go left with the ribs. You're trying to bring ribs left. Head is in the middle. And uncross the leg. Roll that knee back up. Bring your left hand to head, left forearm to head. Bring your right elbow way out to the right. Bring your outer arch of your right foot up. Drop the knee across. Maybe that's enough. Maybe that's all you're going to do. Lay back over your right ball. Opening the ribs. Bring that hip forward. Yeah, your hands hold the head up. Good. And then bring just the head up. Keep your head in the middle. Don't let it go right. Don't let the head be part of the twist. Good. Let your ribs drop back as your hip reaches forward. Your right hip goes to right heel a little. If you want to go deeper, go ahead and cross the ankle over. Pulling the knee down. Breathe. Keep pushing back in the right ball a little bit. Suck the belly down. Good. Uncross the leg. Come back to the middle. Roll forward enough now that your head can lay on the ball with cervical spine following the curve of it. So you can still look up at the ceiling here. Elbows out to the sides with palms facing down. Kind of like the hangnuts. Your elbows are up high on purpose to help open the ribs and create a forward rotation in your shoulders. Okay? And then your bolster's far enough away that you can drop the knees in toward each other easily and they just rest. Rest into whatever your stretch is. So knees don't touch, don't squeeze them into each other, just rest. Okay. Now you're going to drop the right knee inside the left. Think of your right knee as sliding down the left shin, lifting outer right foot. You can bring your ribs a little to the right with your hands and put it back down to the right. Then you're going to switch. Bring left knee in first. Pull your low belly back on the right side to pull the hip back. Don't worry about lifting knee. And then the left knee runs down the inner right leg. You should feel a rotation back and forth between the hips. Right knee comes in, the hips barely or the knees barely skim past each other. Right hip reaching. Good. And just go back and forth. Try to feel the interplay between the hips there. As one reaches forward, the other gets out of the way. And as one rolls back, the other can easily reach forward. One more each side. And then rest in the middle when you're even. Good. Now bring your ball back a little bit so that it's under the neck and the head, and it's making your head face forward. You cannot look up to the ceiling mirrors anymore. Your eyes are very decidedly gazing forward. Neck is on a slant. Bring your bolster up to your glutes with your feet, and then try not to squeeze your glutes to lift hips. Put a little pressure in feet. Feel the low belly draw to drop pelvic bowl into the mat with ribs still open. Use the feet, pick up the hips, don't squeeze glutes, and put your hips on your bolster. Ball is far enough back so that your upper back can touch the ground. Bring one leg in at a time. Bring your hands inside the feet. Feet are facing the ceiling and hands come to cup the heels. Turn your feet out, drop your chin down. Keep your ribs open, don't crush your ribs. Let your pelvic bowl drop back with ribs open. Let go of the right leg, bring your right leg forward. Tip to the left a little bit so you can keep that left knee open. The left foot's going to come into the hand. Keep your left hand holding foot. Drop right arm back, palm facing in, reach right leg forward. Spread the fingers in the right hand, spread the toes of the right foot, and on your center line, hand and foot reach away from each other. Soft pressure into your red ball will help you reach a little longer. Breathe. Bring your right arm straight up to the ceiling. Notice you were shortening left side to lengthen right. Open up the left side now. Roll the shoulder up a little. Keep the ribs open. And then inhale, soften the ribs, soften the head. Bring that leg back in, bending knee out to the side a bit as you bring it in. Bring the hand inside the leg, hand cups the heel. Let go of the left leg. Keep that right heel facing the ceiling or drop a little back. Don't let it come forward and hyperextend your elbow. Okay, tip to the right a little bit. Keep that right hip open, right foot open. And let your left leg just sort of hang off of that. Bring your left arm back. Spread the fingers. Keep the arm a little bit away, so your shoulder's a little bit away from the ear. And then fanning fingers, fanning left toes. Reach those two away from each other on your center line. Chin is dropped, back of the neck long and flat, like it's pushing the ball away a little bit, very softly. Inhale. Let the ribs spread and open, reach through the big toe. One more breath. Bring your left arm straight up to the ceiling. Soften the right side, let that right shoulder come up a little bit, rolling forward, release your right ribs. Find your breath. More breath. Try to feel low belly psoas sinking away from the muscles in the front of the hip flexors, quad. And bring the leg back in. Good. Hold on to ankles. Pull the feet in like Baddha-Konasana, but don't put them together. Turn your elbows out to the sides, so the elbow touches inner knee tip. Push the knees softly open while pulling the feet softly in. Hip opening. At the same time, roll shoulders back, think of opening ribs. And let that go. Bring the legs in, get rid of your red ball. Should feel good to lay flat on the mat. Pull the bolster up higher. Hug the bolster into you, so your hands wrap around the bolster. Heel toe your feet to mat width, keep the feet close to you. And then drop your right knee forward, lifting outer right foot, reach that hip, and then just switch. Just roll back and forth between the hips a little bit. Keep your low back soft here. Knees should graze past each other. And come back to the middle.
Push your bolster down to the tip of your tailbone and bring one hand at a time. Your low back should be rounded, hanging into that little space because of the bolster rounding tailbone up. Hold on to your knees with elbows out to the sides. Just pull your right knee open a little bit. Right arm's gonna go straight. Left elbow wide, open left ribs. You can lift left shoulder a little. It's a funny little soft stretch. Inhale. Let the back soften, ribs sink. And then switch. Rock over to the left. Keep the right knee to the right armpit a little bit. Right elbow wide, shoulder up. Let that left foot drop and hang. Inhale. Exhale, sink the core. Sink the neck and spine. And bring it back. Good. Push your bolster down out from under the hips. All the way to calves. Legs over the bolster. If you want to get rid of it, for your corpse pose you can. If you've never tried it, it kind of feels good under your calves with feet dangling out to the side. Take one more breath here. Inhale, arms come up. Reaching back, let ribs open, low belly softly sucks out of the front of the hips. And then exhale and close hands into fists. Roll the legs in, curl the toes in. Inhale, open it all up. Exhale, just let everything go. Okay, you can bring arms down if you want to for your final resting pose, palms facing up. Lift chin a little bit to make some space in the throat. Make whatever adjustments you feel you need to. Turn off for a little bell here. Take a long, deep breath in through your nose. Let the ribs expand. Hold that air in for a millisecond. And then as you exhale, feel your ribs softly drop down to the mat. Let the muscles in the face release. Eyes roll back into the back of the head, in the middle of the forehead, where the third eye is. Try to feel a spreading across the brow, across the bridge of the nose, between the ears and the jawline, and across the base of the tongue. Let all those facial muscles go. Soft, slow, easy beginning to your inhale. And then let the breath keep flowing. At the top of the breath, hold. And then let the air leak out just as slowly as it came in. And more like that, start an easy, slow inhalation. And then keep inhaling. Keep inhaling. Keep inhaling, hold. Open up the fingers, open up toes, fan the toes. And then as you exhale, point toes, close fists. Roll the legs in. Inhale, open it up. Bring the hands up and back. Chin down, neck long, stretch. roll up to make you create your body. Good. Find a comfortable seat, and we'll just finish with an Om, so you can sit on your bolster if you want. Okay. No worries if not. Make sure spine can stay straight and long easily. Okay. Take a deep, long inhalation. Hold the air at the top. Feel your ribs really fill. Start with an ah sound, go to oo, trying to release facial muscles. Have enough breath for the to vibrate through core as you empty the lungs. Here we go. And bring your hands up into the middle of the forehead with the third eyelid. Sitting bones roll under, low back release and around. Seal in your practice. Thank you very much for coming.
That is very nice.
Good job, guys. Any questions, comments?